At 5 years old, watching Michael Jackson perform on a YouTube video felt like lightning coursing through my body. And that electricity ignited the first ember that refused to go out. That ember led to relentless pleas at home, and soon a small keyboard arrived, my first laboratory bench, where curiosity met creativity and where ordinary plastic keys began to feel like scribes waiting to translate my thoughts and my emotions into a language that everybody understands: music. No one at home wore the label musician professionally. Both of my parents are doctors. But they chose to believe in a child's persistence by saying yes to lessons and yes to dreams, believing that a small desire could grow. And that yes was the first catalyst in my life. A belief that a small desire, given enough care, could become something remarkable, because a process needs belief long before it produces beauty. 3 years of Indian classical lessons followed, and alas, the rhythm broke. Because journeys rarely move as a perfect melody, and sometimes the tal drops. But that silence, my friends, is what creates the contrast and makes the music pop. 4 years ago, that music returned like monsoon on baked earth, and practice became an everyday appetite, a silent refinement, a steady refinement that turned scattered fragments back into a living language. Now, this hobby of mine was not a blaze of glory like all of the other hobbies. This was a slow burn, the kind that converted lead to gold. Consistent scales, careful listening, and humble repetitions. My friends, music is the dance of air particles, as you know, but to musicians, it is also the dance of ideas, a meeting of frequencies which harmonize into meaning. Our ancestors understood this concept and created something called rags, sets of notes which interact with each other in specific ways. They are crucibles of sound, time, emotion being refined into sound. In Indian classical music, even time becomes an ingredient. The Rag Samay Chakra divides the whole day into 8 prahars of 3 hours each, matching each hour with the rag that best defines its characteristic, making the rag more pleasurable for both the performer and the listener. Now, we are going to do a simple listening exercise where I am going to sing a rag for you and a few Bollywood songs related to that rag. And what I want you to do is to listen and to notice the similarities between the melody and just feel the emotions. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa ni re ga re sa pa ma ga re ni re sa. पिया की नजरिया जादू भरी पिया की नजरिया पिया की नजरिया जादू भरी पिया की नजरिया मोह लियो मन प्रेम जादू भरी पिया की नजरिया कवन जतन अब करे आली कवन जतन अब कवन जतन अब करे आली नाही परे मोहे चैन एक खड़ी पिया की नजरिया. Now the fun part, the Bollywood songs. एहसान तेरा होगा मुझ पर दिल चाहता है वो कहने तो मुझे तुमसे मोहब्बत हो गई है मुझे पलकों की छाँव में रहने दो एहसान तेरा होगा मुझ पर अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं. I hope this exercise motivated you to listen to older songs and get you more into Indian classical music. I still remember walking towards my class feeling dejected and sad because my voice wasn't enough. Being told that a voice did not belong in a choir felt like a locked door. But try removing that door's metal to add a fraction of purity to your work by putting it in the furnace, constantly hammering and molding it into sword of your liking. Now, this did not happen alone, trust me. Parents who believed, teachers who corrected, and a community that turned solitary notes into shared music by just listening. This journey is not just personal, it's a door to the richness of Hindustani classical music, a heritage which asks minds to slow down and tune into time, tone, and temperament. Now, this is how a 5-year-old saw a child spark, led by a pop icon on a screen, Michael Jackson, turned into a sustained fire that lit a room, invited others to gather around it, turning everybody who listened to gold. Let this stage be a reminder that within everybody there are elements waiting for the heat of curiosity, courage, patience, and community, waiting to be turned into something extraordinary. This is how a 5-year-old saw turned into a teenager's practice and a tradition's doorway. And I believe a room like this is already a workshop of transformations in progress. Music taught me that ideas are not born great. Trust me, they are not. They are refined great. And refinement is the most important process because that is where character becomes craft and sound becomes meaning. There is a moment when a fleck of 4 in a miner's palm asks to be held, to be believed in, and to be heated, to be turned into something extraordinary, to be turned into gold. And that has been the story of these ideas, these notes, and this journey. Thank you.